Hello, this is the Drunkduck Quackcast, and I am Ozone Ocean, and with me is Baines, and formerly Tanserine, but she might be back. We'll see.
Hello. Wow, you have a very bold, confident voice.
Funny that. Funny you should say that, because the title of this Quackcast is Confidence is Key.
Oh.
The key of confidence. Hi, Tans. Tans is back. She might not be back on the audio yet, but she's returned. Hi, Tans.
Can you hear me?
We can. You're here for the Quackcast, and you're live.
Awesome, amazing.
So confidence is key. That's what we're talking about. Theme song. That's our little theme song. I hope you like that. Okay, so what we're talking about now is confidence, but before we get into that, it's the featured comic I'll have to talk about. It's quite a Gakusei featured Critical Mass, which is an amazing looking comic, which I wanted to feature, but I'm always unsure about featuring comics where the creator has already done a comic that's been featured. But yeah, this one, they always deserve it. They always deserve it, and they always should be. So I shouldn't be hesitant. And Kwai wasn't hesitant. She was confident, and she featured it. So come on, Kwai, tell us about Critical Mass.
Hello, this is Quackcast Gakusei, and the feature I've selected for this week is Critical M4SS, read as Critical Mass, by Stahlberg, and it is rated E for everyone. Welcome to Veld, a backwards place where nothing ever happens, except tonight. Ergen Vassal is spending the day with his father, Marin, to mourn the anniversary of his mother's abduction by the sinister Warch. A bar brawl between the father and son duo against a gang of intolerable outsiders is interrupted by a mysterious inner-world woman in black, a representative of the Earth Space Force. Ergen's thoughts are occupied by the independent woman identified as Operation 374, later nicknamed Tress. A dreamlike color palette that weaves in vibrant magentas with calm lavenders. Use of monochromatic indigo blue for celestial scenes contrasted with monochromatic reds and grays to bring it back to reality. Listen to Nino Rota's love theme from Romeo and Juliet and read Critical Mass by Stahlberg, rated E.
That's the featured comic of the creator of Android Blues. Amazing creator, amazing comic. Okay, so now we have the music by Gummalus. And this week Gummalus has given us the theme to Curse of the Werewoman, is it called? Curse of the Office Werewoman. Okay, so this is the second time he's done this. First time he gave us a theme to this comic was for Quackcast 658. So now I'll tell you about Curse of the Office Werewoman. In this, Gunmalus' second take on a theme to Curse of the Office Werewoman. It's creepy, driving, compelling, official. HR is sending you directives you simply cannot ignore. Get to it, obey like a good office drone, and shake that ass on the dance floor. Take it away, Gummalus, with your second theme to Curse of the Office Werewoman. That was Curse of the Office Werewoman, which is a comic by Cornelius Cool, and it's rated T for teen. Okay, now we're into the Quackcast proper. So, the topic of this Quackcast is confidence is key, or the confidence cast, or whatever I want to call it. And the reason for that was, I was thinking confidence is a common factor between different kinds of characters that makes them attractive. So we talk about heroes, protagonists, or not necessarily protagonists, but hero characters. If they have a sort of a confidence, that can make them attractive. Even if they're like repellent characters, confidence can make them attractive. Villains, if they have confidence, that can make them very, very attractive. Like not just to the reader, but to characters in the story can be like swept off their feet by the sexy villain because of, confidence. And confidence is something that makes characters very sexy. So if you want a character to appear sexy and like, truly sexy, then make them really confident. And what I mean by truly sexy is making a character like, a male character like really muscular and stuff like that, or a female character, very, big butt, big boobs, red lips, all that kind of stuff. That's superficially sexy, but that's not necessarily sexy at all. It's the confidence that really pushes that over the line. So characters don't even have to have those erotic kind of appearance traits in order to make them sexy. It's the confidence burns through everything. So confidence is key. That's what we're going to talk about. Comic characters with confidence, or whatever. Movie characters, pop culture characters. So let's kick it off.
Yeah, and maybe like try to pinpoint some elements of what makes a character confident. And I don't mean a person in real life that maybe has different nuance, that it's different when you actually interact with someone. But when you read someone about, like when you meet someone by reading on the paper or watching on the screen, what comes across as confident, so that you can get this effect on a character.
There can be a whole range of things can contribute to making a character confident. It's more a personality thing than just their actions, because actions can, through actions they can sort of appear confident, but it's really the personality more than what they're doing. And there are, like when I say there are a whole range of things, if a character's an arsehole, like it's a really mean sort of person, that can make a character sort of appear confident because they're confident enough to put themselves in charge of others. So arseholishness can kind of be a fake appearance of confidence. And when I say fake, because you need a lot to sort of back arseholishness up. Anyone can be an arsehole, but to actually have confidence behind it, well, that's a tricky thing, and a lot of arseholes aren't usually very confident. They just pretend it. So arseholishness, that's a thing. Being in control, being in command, makes a character confident, because if they seem to be in command, that sort of means, that's a traditional indicator of confidence, isn't it? If a character's command. But there's a trick there, because a character could have that command because of a rank or an employment status, like a boss character or a military, rank or something like this, or aristocratic kind of thing. So that's another thing that makes them appear confident when they may not necessarily be confident. But that's a good kind of trick. What other kind of things? Like if a character is looks really good, like visually appealing, that can be another trick that you think, oh yeah, that character must be confident because they're visually commanding. But then again, they don't necessarily have to have confidence to back that up, but it's a good trick to make you feel they're confident. So there's a whole range of things that can sort of just... but there's arrogance, which can make a character seem confident, and can make them appear confident. So arrogance, being entitled, that can kind of swing it towards it, but maybe not.
Entitled, I think, doesn't give off confidence. It gives off bad manners and being spoiled, I would say.
It does.
More than anything else.
But it can trick you into thinking a character's confident. Like initially. It's like the same thing as being an arsehole. It can trick someone into thinking you're being confident. Like, if I'm entitled, maybe there's a reason for it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
Yes, do you know who I am?
I mean, that phrase doesn't even suggest confidence. Stuff at the screen.
Exactly. Like if you need to say that phrase, then no, they don't know who you are, and there's a reason for it.
So what other kind of factors are there? Like I don't think a character being humble necessarily can be confident, but when they're humble, given the context. Like, you think, oh my god, this person is awesome, and yet they're so humble. They must be confident in order to be that humble in this situation.
I would say humility, like whether you are humble or not, is not really linked to whether you are confident.
That's why I say context.
You could have a character that is very humble, but because they project this, like usually if they are humble and very confident at the same time, they usually have this calm, like unruffled sort of around them.
Yeah, I like unruffled because that ties into a big indicator of confidence is how people handle difficult situations or difficult people, or the unexpected.
Yeah,
It's not about being emotionless, but it's about not falling apart. Being reactive.
Exactly. Like there is one thing, like for example, if you take a character like Kenshin from Kenshin that plays up a lot the goofiness when he is not being like a badass swordsman fighting off a boss swordman, where he goes like full confident and cool and has the eyes drawn differently and all that. But when he's in the mode where he's being the peaceful nobody that roams around and is very goofy and there's a lot of slapstick and all that. I remember thinking that, okay, this guy is very goofy and he will have stuff thrown at him and he gets tripped over by banana peels for whatever reason. But he is unruffled by that. He does not get upset. He does not get worried. He does not get worried. That's the thing. That nothing actually worries him of the mundane stuff. And I think that even though he's being like super, super humble and nobody pays attention to him and all of that, the fact that he doesn't get worried is the one hint that he is very confident, despite his facade. And I like that nuance in characters.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if the reference to what is this show? What is Kenshin from?
Yeah, it's called the Rurouni Kenshin or Samurai X for the West.
Okay.
And it is about this red-headed, very short, very petite, super, super competent, like godlike swordsman. The samurai, yeah, that has no boss and he roams around and he helps people and samurai. Then yeah, well, Rurouni because he's I don't know, there's some difference that I don't remember. And he generally is this force for good that he does as a penance because he used to be this terrifying killer during the war. So
Oh,
yeah, and he has a sword that is a reverse blade, so that he will not be able to cut when he uses it. And supposedly this makes you survive, which of course is not very because he is wielding around this gigantic metal bar. Even if it doesn't cut, it will maim you. But yeah, within the manga, if it doesn't draw blood, it's not lethal. So he does not kill. That's the whole point of him. And he does this penance of serving. Yeah.
The inside curve of his blade is sharpened rather than the outside curve, so it's the opposite.
yeah, that does sound. I love that. That sounds great, and it does sound like a martial artist. As you were describing it, it made me think of this reference. I don't know if people know this reference anymore, really, but the show Kung Fu from way back. The same thing.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, very similar. Very quiet guy, humble guy, super capable.
Yeah. Man, I love that trope. I actually really love that trope of the very quiet guy that is actually quiet and very unassuming and very hard to provoke. And then when you do provoke this guy, you you go into the FAFO meme category.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah, those characters have a quiet, competent confidence.
Exactly.
Which is interesting. So competence isn't always an indication of confidence, but it can be. And when it's tied to that, then you have that quiet kind of, oh my god, this person is unbeatable. Yeah. That can make them superpowered, almost. Like a character like Doctor Who, I think. There are characters that are very confident and competent. And yeah, we mentioned Indiana Jones, but he's not quite that level of superpoweredness which some confident characters.
But still he's very confident. And he can be arrogant or at least audacious, for sure, in my opinion.
So yeah, there's some. I think we were talking. Tance, you mentioned before traditional 1930s heroes. So I think Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon both fit into that because even though they're heroes of the future, they were still invented in a very much 1930s old-fashioned style superhero kind of action men.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, both of them are very sort of confident, kind of shoot first, ask questions later kind of characters, which I love those characters.
So, yeah, I mean, confidence in a character is definitely a very sexy trait, as you said. And especially for me, if it is backed up by fact, the confidence is not hollow. For me, it is a sure win. I really like it when it happens.
Exactly. Like before I mentioned the things that sort of can be indicators of confidence, but aren't unless they're backed up. So they're kind of fake confidence kind of indicators, like being arrogant or being an arsehole. Those two kind of things. Now, those aren't the same things. Being arrogant can make you look like an arsehole, but being an arsehole is not necessarily being arrogant. Because, if someone's a dick to someone, they're being an arsehole, right? But being arrogant is just, you're like it's stuff based on yourself. Like, oh, I'm the boss. I'm this. Whatever. I take things for granted or whatever. That's arrogance. Whereas being an asshole is more being mean. And both those things can make someone appear confident. And that's why there was a huge kind of there's often when like arsehole characters become popular, then there's people who imitate them. Like we used to have people in the forums who were imitating that, being an arsehole and to try and get a sort of popularity. But
Yeah, I really hate that.
they could never back it up because when they were challenged, they either doubled down on being an arsehole or just crumbled. So that's not confidence. It's a fake confidence. But when you can back it up, then there's then that really is confidence. Like Alan Rickman's character in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, as the Sheriff Nottingham. That character was an arsehole, but he was also confident, truly confident. Because when he was challenged, he still retained his confidence. He didn't double down on being an arsehole or crumble. So there's that.
I don't think he could double down anymore on being an asshole. But yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
Definitely his character in Die Hard that they super confident.
Nice. The character in Die Hard's slightly different from that one, but they do have similarities, and he was probably picked for that role in, I think, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves because of the Die Hard character. I think that came afterwards. So he was probably.
I want to say Die Hard was his first movie.
Well, it'd be first American movie, maybe. Because I'm sure he would have done many British films before that. But,
I was just making that up anyway. Thought I heard.
I thought you could just bluster through his confidence.
So, how about, like I said, because I'm gravitating there all the time. How about our characters? And how do we see it?
Okay, how do we see confidence in our own characters? Well, my characters are not particularly confident because that's not a particular character trait that I focus in on for them. So, yeah. Like I could talk about their own...
I would say...
Oh, go on.
I would say Pinky is very confident because she stands out as a rule and it's something that she has specifically actively opted to do. Like the pink hair, the way that she, like what she wears, and the entire outfit is it cannot be made to work by someone who is not confident. Because she's also in the army, she has to be in such a position to project enough confidence for people to pay attention to her and not her butt when she and that is very hard to pull off. So I would say that she is very confident.
Well, you might be right there. She does have a certain level of confidence, like in of herself. So her confidence is mainly based on her own internal beliefs and herself rather than external things. So yeah, you're probably right there. But she's not necessarily... And she does actually project command too. So sometimes less than others. But when she... so her level of confidence is not always at that kind of peak level. It fluctuates. And so she achieves it at various stages. So she's always got her confidence in herself and her body and her beliefs, but not necessarily that enough confidence to command people. But she does achieve that, yeah. So I suppose you're right, Tance. That's good kind of evaluation of her character. So yeah, speaking of confidence, like in Without Moonlight, Basil has a similar journey. I think he's not always that level of confidence, but he does there is a kind of a quiet, self-possessed confidence to him.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's uneven in his confidence. I would say that's how I would put it, in the sense that he is very confident that he can accomplish things, that he can do things and carry things out. And he also feels that he can protect the kid, at least to a point. On the flip side, though, he has absolutely zero confidence whether he can continue being a competent and proper mate to Martha, which is what has caused all his problems with his relationship. Like, he has zero confidence in relationships because he is self-conscious for missing an arm and all that. Although at the same time, ironically, that arm missing plays no factor in, yes, I can, take on an entire safe house of Nazis and go. Yeah. I can absolutely do that. But oh my God, can I actually get married with just one arm? Which is he's very uneven in that, and at least he resolves that a little bit. He manages to do that a little bit. So maybe I'm being silly about that.
That's good. An uneven level of confidence is quite realistic, because you don't necessarily have the same level of confidence in all spheres of life. Like an actor, someone who plays characters, they can project extreme confidence on stage or on a movie set, but in person they could be like the most, a puddle. And that's pretty common, Many actors who appear extremely confident on stage or on the TV screen can have incredible stage fright all throughout their lives. Comedians who people naturally think are the alpha dogs, you think, oh my God, they're so confident, able to go on stage and tell jokes and laugh at anybody. But many of them have extreme stage fright and don't have that same level of personality when you meet them in person. So confidence is not a constant. It's not a constant. It can be very dependent upon context or just different periods of your life, different situations. So that's quite realistic to answer in the way Basil handles things differently. I don't think Fotis ever has. I mean, he might ascend to levels of confidence at some points, but generally he's not.
He has confidence. He has the budding route of developing confidence, for sure. The only area where he does have confidence and he feels very confident about is actually being able to leap on tracks and steal things. So, the original stuff that he was doing, he felt that, I can do this, I'm competent. And that's why he was the leader of the little gaggle of kids that he comes from. But beyond that, no, not yet. He's not confident yet. I think that he's going to develop confidence a lot as he acquires more skills and he feels more competent, because his confidence hinges on how competent he is in things that he needs or wants to do. The more he feels that he can do things, the more confident he's going to be.
So confidence for him comes from competence. So he's extremely competent in leaping and stealing, and that's where he has his supreme confidence, because he's like the big fish in a small pond there, and he can handle it, and he knows what to do. And in other aspects of life, no longer is he the big fish anymore.
He's a very, very tiny fish that got caught, like he got caught very easily, which And not only that, he got caught very easily and very dramatically. That's a trauma that he cannot forget. So, yeah, confidence shattered from there on. He had no confidence moving forward. So there was that.
And speaking of sorry, Dan.
Think of these characters as such action-taking and like, pretty clear-headed. I know Fotis has a lot of doubt because of everything changing. So I guess I've always thought of him as okay, based on some of his earlier.
What was that?
I said I would have thought of Fotis as very confident based on his earlier actions. I guess is how I think of it, not realizing that he's sort of very unsure now that things are changing. He's having to do different, more unusual things.
Well, if you notice, and it's not maybe very very obvious, but he takes a back seat to taking initiative after being caught. Whereas before that, he would be very gung ho, let's go do this, let's go. Oh yeah, sure, I'll take the microfilm, and I know exactly how to hide it because this is my city, and I know exactly what to do, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But after he gets caught, and after all the disasters and that happen, and all the deaths that happen, and everything, he feels like this is beyond me. I don't know what to do, and I'll just follow whoever I trust. And then he doesn't know who to trust until Martha comes along. So, yeah, he has to rebuild his confidence.
Yeah, it's a whole new situation, paradigm. That's what I'm saying. Paradigm. The paradigm changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of small fish in big ponds, we have Max, who is a very small fish in a gigantic pond currently. But oh, sorry, Baines, what?
I was just going to say Max is in Kaiju Valentine. Tiny man, Valentine. Regular sized man, and then Max.
Yes. But he achieves levels of competence despite his diminutive size and despite all the negative factors, things that assail him. He can still easily display such enormous, gigantic confidence that even, overshadows the huge, giant characters within the world that he finds himself.
Yeah, even in a world this unusual, where he's hopelessly, just by a matter of scale, he's just literally dwarfed and then some by everything around him and everything. It wasn't on purpose, but he's definitely by far got to be the most confident character I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Handling an unusual environment that
way. Exactly.
Unusual and extremely dangerous. It's not just unusual, and that speaks volumes about him.
Yeah.
Just for him to attempt those rescue efforts, just for him to attempt even going into that world and interacting with those characters takes a level of confidence bigger, as you say, than any other character within the story, within that world.
Yeah.
And that's super obvious, when that happens. And that makes the character really appealing in that kind of attractive confidence, way that you have for those sort of characters. You think, oh my god, wow.
I wonder, I imagine we've never really saw it, but I imagine he was a fairly average guy in regular life.
Yeah.
You need the right circumstances.
Well, that level of confidence gives him the virtual lake house.
Right.
That's an in-joke from the comic.
It's a joke. Yeah, another guy, another giant tries to seduce Max's giant girlfriend with his promises of visiting his lake. This is reference.
Dr. Adventure, which is
Dr. Adventure, yes.
that's like Baines has sort of given that character like confidence kind of pointers there, just calling him that. I mean, he's a big. I mean, obviously they're all big because they're giants, but this guy has a big barrel chest. He's got a big confident beard and buffy hair. And he's called Dr. Adventure, and he's the leader of the team, so he has all the confident kind of markers there.
Yeah, he's like a local celebrity.
Yeah.
And it's fairly famous.
Yeah, he's a like cliche kind of scientist hero kind of character.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't say cliche in it like to put Baines is writing down. I'm saying that's to indicate that he has all the classic kind of traits. Like, I shouldn't say cliche, I should say classic. Classic. That's a better term.
Yeah, I mean, either way, yeah, it's sort of, he's a type. He's presented as this sort of type.
Exactly. Archetype, yeah. Very classic.
Max's confidence seemingly trumps his lake house. Confidence beats lake house
every time. Yeah, like, and those kind of characters are very appealing in media. Like say I'm thinking of a few kind of super confident ones, like Wesley, the Dread Pirate Roberts from Princess Bride is a like the classic sexy confident hero protagonist guy. Like, he absolutely is. He controls every situation just through sheer charisma.
And sort of knowledge or belief that he can handle the crisis that comes along.
Exactly.
It's not like, I can beat anyone easily, when he's confronted by Andre the Giant.
Yeah, it's not arrogance.
No, he knows he's outmatched. And he even says it. He looks concerned. So that it's not about that. It's not like you have to be Superman and be the most powerful to be confident.
Exactly.
He's supremely confident. He could have possibly been killed.
He's not a Mary Sue, like you're saying. He could have been crushed. So he's not confident in that he has plot armor. He's confident in that he has competence. Well, he does have plot armor, but he's not aware of his plot armor like these other characters seem to be. But he has confidence because he has extreme competence. That's what you're trying to say, really. I'm thinking of the character from Lethal Weapon, played by Mel Gibson. He is incredibly, like, Mel Gibson is a bit of a weird character, but that character in Lethal Weapon has this sexy confidence. It's more appealing than the actor, than the character himself. It's just the confidence, which makes that Riggs, I think he's called. Riggs?
Yeah, Riggs. I would say, I don't think that he has this, like, he has maybe he has a kind of confidence, but he comes across more like a psycho, which I think is part of the whole thing, at least in the first installment. He is more confident in the other two installments, when he feels that he belongs and stuff, and he develops, then definitely he has confidence.
And that's something that, like, is sort of common in a lot of those 80s action films. Say Eddie Murphy's character in Beverly Hills Cop. So he comes in as a kind of like a fish out of water kind of character into that world. But everyone is drawn to him because of his confidence, even though he doesn't fit in. And that's the whole point of it, that he doesn't fit in. The confidence makes him fit in any situation. Ferris Bueller, again, massive confidence there in that character, this kind of like this aura of it, and that makes him fit in and work within any situation. Isn't that interesting? It makes him able to function within whatever situation he's in, even though it's like incredibly unfamiliar, just because of that confidence. That's fascinating. Do we have that in more recent pop culture media? Nothing's really coming to mind straight away. Like we talked about the Marvel superheroes, Iron Man has a kind of like a confidence, although arrogance is sort of almost overpowers it. It's more arrogant than just confidence. And Bane said Captain America, he has a kind of quiet confidence.
Doctor Strange, I said. He's super confident and slightly arrogant, maybe. When he begins, he's super arrogant and stuff. But afterwards, after he has been through his metamorphosis,
he loses a lot of the arrogance.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think that many Marvel superheroes really have a lot of confidence. It's not really a trait of most of them.
Oh, I would have said the opposite.
Maybe in the comics, but in the movies, I don't think so.
I mean,
Thor, someone.
Sorry, Sam.
No, I was going to say someone. Well, of course, he's a villain, but someone like Lex Luthor maybe has confidence. I would say.
He's not a Marvel superhero, but
no.
Or a villain.
Yeah.
He's
sorry,
DC.
Sorry, but still, I mean, I think. Yeah.
Yes, the DC characters, and the same with like the Joker. He's an arsehole, but he has that kind of extreme confidence, competence, arrogance. And that's what a lot of people find appealing about him. Classic Joker, that is, not the weird version by who that actor was. Not River Phoenix. Some other actor, I'm not sure.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go. The one that's still alive.
No, I would posit that. The portrayal of Joker in that film is completely different because it explores a different version. But there is this one time when he goes in fully into the manic episode, fully into the psychosis, and he is very confident, dancing down the stairs. That's where he is the most appealing.
There we go.
I was going to say, is it interesting? I haven't even seen the movie, but it's interesting that him coming down the stairs is the image that you always see online.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I have seen the movie. The movie is great, and I highly recommend it because it is an interesting exploration into mental illness, plus how the health system fails mentally ill people. Beyond the whole superhero element, and it is played very well. If you like Taxi Driver, you're gonna like the Joker. So.
Right, very much Taxi Driver. Travis Bickle, not a confident man either, if I remember right.
But at points, maybe he was.
Yeah.
Like, he's very confident when he's looking at himself in the mirror. I mean, jeez. Very brave.
Me too. I'm a rock star when I look in the mirror.
so going back to our webcomics, because I have to. I don't know why. Today I want to celebrate webcomics more in general. One of the most confident characters that I have ever written is for Key of Dreams.
Oh, yes.
She is super confident. She is very
Yeah.
confident. Start to finish.
A human being, a human witch who goes up against a god.
Yeah, basically.
So definitely.
And she owns him. She completely owns him.
She does. She's got a level of, like, she's very self-assured. This is her world. She knows how to control it. She knows the rules.
Exactly.
And yeah, she is. She's super confident. Good example.
I would even suggest that the only reason that Morpheus cannot break her grip on his consciousness while they are in her dream is that she is more confident than him, and she can hold the dream together and convince him that he cannot live. Basically, that's what is going on there. So
she changes the rules, not because she actually does, but she makes him believe that they're changed. And the whole reason why Morpheus has such a trouble in that particular story is because he is naturally confident about everything, and she's undermined all the basis. You know, the ground level of his world has been upturned. So now no longer is he in control, no longer is he the most confident person in the room. And he starts off extremely arrogantly confident, like entitled.
Yeah. He has the trifecta. He does, and it's like how can this happen? Like a mortal, winning over a god, and that shatters his confidence. So then he's basically game to me. So
exactly. Yeah. So that's a good story about confidence in general.
For sure.
Yeah, so confidence, yes, can either be like a character trait, like a character can have it from start to finish, or a character can have it in contextually, or they can have it, they can work up to it, and they can reach that enlightened kind of level, ascend to confidence. Now I'm attracted. Like I'm thinking of, okay, I'm going away from our webcomics for a second, but say a film like Scott Pilgrim. And that's a comic as well. I haven't read the comic. But in that particular film, the character starts off as being not particularly confident. Not at all. And through the story, it's like climbing a staircase or climbing a ladder. He's getting to that point all the time. And in the end, he sort of reaches it. And that makes him attractive. Wow, he's a full human being suddenly. So, yeah, that particular story is a good kind of like journey to confidence and showing how to get there. I mean, you don't like, it doesn't give you like an instruction book about how to get there. Beat all these this girl's ex-boyfriends. That's how you get there, and punch him so hard he turns into 1,000,000 coins. No, but it's like symbolically a good approach. Achieving self-confidence rather than basing it on other people and all that kind of stuff. So being confident, like when we're talking about confidence in reality, it's very much like the comic stuff, like the writing we're talking about. Like you can fake confidence by insulting other people or by appearing arrogant. But that's not really confidence. That's like hollow. And for most people who have those particular traits, generally that's hollow. Some people can back it up, like maybe Gordon Ramsay, that chef who insults people and he's arrogant. I think he could probably back it up. But a lot of other people who tend to be bullies and stuff like that can never do it. I mean, that's the reason why they're bullies, is because that's the only way they can achieve that level of a confident appearance. So they stay with it.
I would even say that Gordon Ramsay just puts up a show if allowed, like in the real world, to do that sort of thing without having this crew, having this script, and having everything under control, like full control of circumstances. I think that he would not be able to survive being
I mean,
at
outside of his,
that level.
I doubt he behaves that way in real life. He's not on his show.
yeah, I doubt he would behave that way outside of his work too. He might behave that way when he's in charge of a kitchen, like his own particular kitchen. I don't think he would behave that way in reality if he went to someone else's kitchen, unless he was like you're saying, like he's filmed. But
right.
He, as a chef, as the lead chef in his own kitchen, he might do that. Because chefs often do that. It's not particularly it's not a fake thing. That's like a known thing that chefs. It's like drill sergeants. Drill sergeants are meant to project that kind of level of control, and they're just expected to do that, and they do it. But they're not necessarily like that all the time. They're just in their particular job, looking after privates or corporals or whatever, whoever's under them. That's how they behave. Yeah. It's a very context dependent thing. So other things that are symbols of confidence with like us as human beings. Competence, like we're saying, like when you're really, really competent at something, you can achieve a level of confidence, or at least seem very confident. I think it's a lot easier to be confident when you're very competent about something.
Sure.
Like, yeah, you know what you're doing, so you're not second guessing yourself. You just say, "Yep, that's it. Do it this way. Do it that way. Do it this way. That's how it's done. Done." And I can just, I can demonstrate it, and I've demonstrated it, and I'm right, and I'm confident. So yeah, confidence does it. I don't know what other kind of traits does it leads to confidence.
To me, again, the biggest one would be to be unruffled by the unexpected, or like say being challenged. Facing kind of unknown circumstances and undesirable, like sort of the outcome you don't want, other people's free will. How you handle that stuff is really the test of, are you actually confident, or are you putting on a show?
Yeah, so if you maintain a level of control in whatever situation, definitely. Like, okay, that's a thing. Being in control, like, because you're the boss, like because of rank or because of, situation or whatever, that can automatically make you seem really confident. But if you are truly, like Bane says, you're in control of your own emotions, and you're able to assist others and to sort of be in control in a situation, then that really is confidence. It's not sort of the fake confidence of just being in charge because you're wearing the right hat.
When you say control, you're talking about self-control?
Self-control and external control as well. So if you're able to say, okay, like there's a disaster, like there's some sort of situation. All right, you go here, you do this, you do that. If you can project that kind of level of control, then that automatically makes you appear the most confident person in the room,
Yeah. I mean, it depends, like what are the outcomes of that, and what does it look like long term? What orders are you giving? Is it leading people to disaster? It depends.
A competent control as opposed to bossiness.
Yeah,
Bossiness
like the
is like,
micromanager, the sort of screaming boss is obviously not confident, and they're not attractive either. So I know obviously
you don't
that's opposite.
exactly. That doesn't inspire anyone to follow anyone if you're being that. But if you have a confident control, then that inspires people. Okay, charisma is another thing. So, and I don't think these things are separate. Like charisma isn't necessarily separate to it. It's all part of it. It's a spectrum.
Confidence definitely adds to charisma, I would say. And also, in general, a rule of thumb and something that we teach teachers and also teach parents is that if you are pushed to yell, and not in order to be heard, like, you walk into a classroom and there is chaos and you yell to attract attention, that's different. But if you are pushed to yell, even worse, to hit someone, legalities aside, then you have lost the game, because you signal that you do not have the competence or the confidence to handle the situation on the level that matters. You have completely lost the argument, and therefore you use force to shut down the other party, the child. So what you teach the child is that they basically won the argument, but they are too weak to support that win. And that is a terrible lesson to teach a kid. And also you lose all your authority. So don't do it. And by definition, people that tend to scream to shut people down, they do not have confidence. So
true. Very, very true. All right. One last point we should make before we end is confidence makes you appear sexy. Makes characters appear sexy, and makes humans appear sexy as well. Confidence, and this is regardless of how sexy you are. Due to muscles or big boobs or big butts or any of this kind of stuff. It's just confidence. And I've seen it a million billion times in a million. Well, I haven't met that many people in my life. I've seen it 100 times. There we go. That's a more realistic number. I've seen people of various kinds who are incredibly sexy just because of that confidence, and that trumps everything. Like, these people could have one eye 2 inches higher than the other. I'm not saying that I've ever encountered anyone like that, but they could. They could be built like that character from the Goonies and be incredibly sexy just because of that confidence. That's just how it works. So, if you want to be a sexy person to the opposite sex, work on your confidence. Don't be an arsehole. Don't be arrogant. Try and back it up with a real sense of self-control.
Exactly. Have some substance, and confidence will come as a result as well.
Exactly. Be competent as well. That can help. Okay, all right. This has been Quackcast number 758. I've been Ozone Ocean. With me, been Baines and Parts. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.